I expect this community, anytime there's a homicide, stand up. You better tell what you saw or we'll never fix this thing.
Never will.
But I also want the police to understand when you come into this community, you owe it to us to treat us like we're somebody too.
That's right, sir.
And when you've got these mothers who don't have answers because you're not communicating with them, because you don't feel like you have to, shame on you. We're going to call your feet to the fire. Not just to get this story out, but to bring some healing, some compassion. And I want them to introduce themselves and to tell us who it is that they have lost in their family. Sister Martin, we'll start down on that end.
Christy Martin. 2 months ago, I lost my son. Mr. Martin said north to a stabbing. And it's just been so hard. Because I didn't receive any justice.
Did you hear that? She said she didn't receive any justice.
Oh,
Mr.
my baby's gone.
was his first name. He was 14 years old. Did you hear me? 14 years old. Stabbed to death. Gone. At 14. Can you imagine the hurt, the devastation, and the pain? Sister Novell, introduce yourself and tell us.
My name is Dante Miles Novell. I have 2 sons, Mark Miles Jr., Kevin Valentine Jr. Back on last November 23rd, 2010, the police called it a murder-suicide, but it's not the murder. Both of them were murdered by other people. But they decided to cover it up for some reason. And I've been having a hard time getting justice as well.
And I want to make sure that we're hearing this. She lost both of her sons. November the 23rd, 2010. That's just a couple days before Thanksgiving. Both of her sons. The police called it a murder-suicide
2011.
at 2010.
Oh, that's the time?
2010 was the year. She lost him.
This had to be not an easy night for you.
No, it's not.
How does it feel to express to others? I mean, was it hard? Was it liberating?
It was liberating. It was sort of refreshing because every door I've went to has gotten closed in my face. You know, letters I've sent off, you know, telephone calls I've made. You know, people have not calling me back or, you know, been sharing any information with me or anything like that. You know, different reports I've had to go and get on my own, you know. And some of those were a lot of trouble to get a hold of, you know, and nobody was really helping me, you know. So to be able to sit here tonight and to share, you know, my story, to let people know what was really going on is really important to me and to my family because we've been hurt by this deeply.
Did you ever, had your family before this situation ever had anything like this in your family?
No, we were very, very tight, you know, close-knit family, you know. Me and my other children, we spent a lot of time together, you know, we worked in the community a lot, so we were very known in the community. We're very active, you know, we're being positive with teens and at-risk youth and things like that. So, yeah, we're definitely, you know, we were always together. We did a lot of things together, like they said, I think a couple of people were interviewed the day of the incident or the day after, and they said it was always peaceful there. You know, it's totally out of the ordinary for anything to occur, you know, with my children.
Is this cathartic for you at all?
Very much. You know, can't sleep, you know, can't rest, no closure.
Because I couldn't. I have daughters. I have 2 daughters. I would be like, I couldn't. I don't know how you walk around.
Right, you hurt because you don't know. And the thing that keeps me standing is to know that my 2 sons were good men. They were fathers. They were family men, but they were good men, and they weren't in, you know, they weren't in trouble. Or they didn't have records or anything like that. So I couldn't understand why they would take it, you know, to the extreme the way they did to create their own stories and, you know, to try to turn witnesses away, you know, to discourage them. Like, well, you know, you're gonna have to go to court. You know, you have to do grand jury if you say this or that. They were out discouraging them. And then, you know, when I went to report it,
Everybody knows it's a pain in the butt to do anything with the government.
Yeah, but you don't discourage, you know, when you're asking for community help and then you're discouraging it at the same time, it's not a healthy situation for either part, you know. And how do we do that if we have to live in society together? You know, there has to be some type of foundation of trust and truth here and justice, you know, and then some equality, you know what I mean? It has to be equality, you know. You can't take away from that. It is what it is, equality.
While I know that a lot of the acts that happen are, you know, there's different situations, you know, they're not all the same, but if there's one thing you think could be done in society, what would that be to reduce violence? And
it's for it to be fair, you know, everybody stand on fair ground with it, you know what I'm saying? It's for police to actually do what they're here to do, is protect and serve, you know what I mean? And it's our part as far as the community, you know, to do our part to make sure that, you know, there is no crime, or that we report crime, you know, things in that nature. If that could happen, and there could be some trust, a foundation made of trust and honesty between the two, then only can we move forward, you know.
what would you tell some kid out there who, you know, and we read about stuff, kids or someone getting angry over something stupid, some kid out there who's thinking about getting revenge on somebody because they took their girlfriend or whatever reason there is, what would you tell them, having gone through what you've been through?
Well, I would first let them know that the situation at hand will pass. It will pass. You know, you'll get through this, but you got to do it with a clear head and a clear mind. And you got to do it with making the right decision. You have to stay positive. You know what I'm saying? You have to do what's right, and that's everybody. When you're young or old, you know, you have to do what's right. You have to. So.
Anything else you'd like to say?
Thank you for taking the time out to interview me. I appreciate that. I'm just a nervous wreck right now, as you can see.
Yeah.
I'm trying to maintain, and you know, I want community support, because this can't go on. We're guaranteed, you know, through the Constitution of the United States, that we're guaranteed civil rights, and in this situation, you know, they were definitely discarded.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
They just told me to check the messages on that phone, because I never check the messages. I never use the phone. I never give out the number or any of that. But something just said check the messages on your old phone. So I checked the messages. Here's a message from the phone saying, "Can you give me a call? This is such and such corner." And I just threw the phone, and I got my phone and just called. And I was just so confused, because I heard the word corner, and it just made me I didn't know what to do. Because my fiance was out looking for my son at the time. So no one was there with me. And I was actually babysitting a little girl their family was going through something with children's service. So we was actually babysitting this little 8-month-old baby. And when I called the coroner, the lady said, "Well, you gotta leave a message and he had to call you back." So I was still just in a panic, just not knowing anything. And he finally called me back like 30, 45 minutes later. So I'm sitting there and by that time my fiance come in and he said that the people next door told me that my son was stabbed and killed last night, Sunday morning, when he told me, and my fiance told me before the coroner even called back. And when the coroner called, and he said, "Is this Dwayne's mom?" I said, "Yes, this is Mr.'s mother." He said, "Well, Mr. Martin Senior." I said, "Yes." I said, "Where's my son?" He said, "He was killed last night, ma'am." And the message on my phone, he called to tell me that at 3 in the morning. And the detective said my son was pronounced dead at 10:56 p.m. Saturday night. And he didn't call me that message till 3 in the morning. So they weren't trying to contact me till 3 in the morning to tell me that my son has been killed. And then I had to still wait the next morning, 45 more minutes. Then I had to wait 3 more hours before he came to the house so I can identify that this is my son. And then he wanted to bring me a picture to show me. Wouldn't let me come downtown to see my son or any of that. Just sit here.
So I'm saying that since the Justice Department has been called,
Yes.
we need to use that door to its nth degree and get every case, Ms. Martin, her 2 sons, and Kylan English, all of this should be, and they should have legal representation. I mean, they need legal representation.
Absolutely.
Because, see, I know that I read the account of the 3 boys and this grown man with a knife. And I know, looking at the man, that he had a record. And even if the 3 boys were teasing him, just like he said, it was up to this man to control the situation, not pull out a knife and stab somebody. That right there, that action alone was wrong. That action alone should have kept him behind bars. That action alone should have told the community that he was dangerous, and the police department and whatever, that this was a dangerous man.
Absolutely.
These were children. I don't care if they were drunk or what they were. They were children.
Absolutely.
And so I'm upset because, I mean, you know, I have a son. So I know exactly what these mothers are feeling. And even though my son is grown, he's still off doing things that he ain't got no business doing. So at any time, he's leaving a door open for you see what I'm saying, for situations like this to happen. So until we actually take on the police department, you see, and say, and go to these meetings where this man is trying to do damage control, because to me, that's all he's doing now. He's trying to do damage control because he knows that the Justice Department has been called in.
Absolutely.
So he's saving
Absolutely.
face is what he's doing.
Absolutely.
Okay? Nobody's stupid in this situation. We can see these things. And it upsets me because we have to sit back and be quiet and not say the wrong thing politically. There is no political correctness when a child is dead.
You're right.
There's no such thing when a child is dead.
You're right.
And the pain that the parent is going to have to go through for the rest of their life, and not just the parent, but the whole family is destroyed.
Absolutely.
And it's a boomerang effect.
It is.
And so until we get together and have something where we decide that we're going to move forward, just like in the civil rights movement.